In 2026, garlic bread is a freezer staple across the US, but most brands don't actually taste like real garlic bread. Americans buy these loaves for convenience, yet many are loaded with artificial flavors, margarine, and low-quality bread. Real garlic bread demands three things: butter, genuine garlic, and quality bread. We put 12 brands to that test. 8 failed, 4 delivered, starting at number 8 on the skip list. 8th place goes to Great Value Garlic Bread, a Walmart freezer staple that sets the bar low for authenticity. The ingredient list skips butter entirely, relying on a blend of soybean and palm oils with a dash of dried garlic. Instead of real dairy richness, the spread is built from emulsifiers, artificial flavors, and whey. The crust bakes up pale and soft, never crisp, never golden. While the label claims real garlic, the experience lands somewhere between bland and oily, missing the punch and texture of true garlic bread. For shoppers chasing real flavor, this loaf is an easy skip. Number 7. Market Pantry Garlic Bread leaves shoppers in the dark when it comes to what's actually inside. The packaging makes a bold promise of real butter, but there's no ingredient list available on Target's website or major food databases. That missing label isn't just an oversight, it raises questions about what's really in the spread. Without public documentation, there's no way to confirm whether the product relies on butter or if it quietly swaps in cheaper vegetable oils. This kind of label opacity has drawn legal attention before, as seen in the 2022 class action lawsuit over misleading butter claims. For anyone who values transparency and wants to avoid hidden oil blends, this brand's lack of disclosure is a warning sign. Number 6. Kroger Garlic Bread spells out its shortcut right on the label. The ingredient list leads with enriched flour and soybean oil, making it clear the only fat at play is oil, no butter in sight. For anyone scanning the packaging, here's a simple tip. If butter was used, it would be named up front. Instead, Kroger leans on soybean oil and dried garlic, skipping the dairy richness that defines real garlic bread. The crust bakes up pale, lacking the golden crispness that butter brings. While the honesty is refreshing, the end result is still a bland, oil-driven loaf that misses the mark on both flavor and texture. Number 5. Aldi's Mama, Cozy's Garlic Bread leans hard on dairy language, but the ingredient list tells a different story. The spread is built from a blend of soybean and palm oils, with sweet cream and whey tucked in to justify a claim of real butter. Under FDA rules, cream is a dairy product, but it is not butter, no matter how many times the word appears on the front of the box. The bread itself is soft and unremarkable, lacking the crispness that real butter brings. For shoppers who think a discount chain means an upgrade, this loaf's clever use of dairy terms is more illusion than improvement. If you're scanning for real butter, don't let the label's wordplay fool you. Number 4. Pepperidge Farm Frozen Garlic Bread leans on its premium reputation, but the ingredient list tells a different story. The front of the box boasts real butter, yet the spread is built on margarine made from palm oil, not dairy butter. This swap is about cost, not flavor, and it shows in the final bake. Instead of a rich, buttery aroma and crisp crust, the bread comes out with a flat, oily texture and a faint, artificial garlic note. The branding may evoke trust, but the formulation relies on shortcuts that leave the bread tasting processed rather than authentic. For anyone expecting a true bakery-style loaf, this is a reminder that even legacy brands can hide behind clever packaging while delivering little more than a palm oil imitation. Number 3. New York Bakery Garlic Breadsticks put on an artisanal front, but a closer look reveals a masterclass in processed shortcuts. Instead of butter, the spread is built from a triple oil blend: soybean, palm, and cottonseed, each chosen for price and shelf life rather than flavor. To mimic the creaminess of butter, the formula leans on whey, a milk protein that delivers none of butter's richness but lets the label hint at dairy. Garlic comes in powder form, bringing a muted, slightly bitter note instead of the punch of fresh cloves. The bread itself bakes up chewy and dense, lacking any real crispness or satisfying crumb. For shoppers hoping for a bakery-style breadstick, this one lands squarely in the processed camp, with multi-oil complexity and protein filler taking the place of real ingredients and authentic taste. Number 2. Texas Toast Garlic Bread, especially the store-brand versions, shows just how far the private label cloning game can go. Walk into almost any supermarket freezer and you will find a thick-sliced loaf labeled Texas Toast, but the ingredient list is nearly identical from one retailer to the next. The spread is a blend of generic vegetable oils, sometimes with a hint of palm, but never real butter. Garlic flavor comes from a mix of natural and artificial sources, with dried garlic powder leading the charge. The bread itself is engineered for shelf life, not texture, resulting in a pale, soft crust that never achieves the golden crispness of homemade. This formula is so widespread that it is likely sitting in millions of American freezers right now, promising convenience but delivering little more than oily, bland imitation. For anyone seeking the real taste of garlic bread, this private label staple is best left on the shelf. And finally, in first place, Chef Shamey Garlic Butter Bread sets a new bar for misleading the shopper. The packaging leans into a gourmet image, promising real garlic butter with a premium price tag. But behind that badge, the spread is built not from butter, but from a whey surrogate and a heavy dose of vegetable oils. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry lesson. Whey, soybean oil, and palm oil come first, with no actual butter in sight. This kind of formulation lets the brand legally ride on dairy language, but it sidesteps the richness and browning that only real butter delivers. The label's real butter claim is contradicted by the absence of butter itself, raising questions about misbranding and the risk of legal scrutiny under FDA rules. For shoppers expecting the taste and texture of true garlic bread, this is the peak of deception, an expensive oil-driven loaf that falls flat on every core standard. Number 4. New York Bakery Real Garlic Bread Premium line marks a turning point for the freezer aisle. This is the first widely available loaf to put cultured butter front and center, making up more than 15% of the spread. Instead of the usual oil blend, the fat melts clean, soaking the crumb with real dairy richness. Minced garlic brings a sharp, aromatic punch that lingers long after the bake, while the crust develops a deep golden color, crisp on the edges, never soggy. At around $4.50 a loaf, it's a step up from the standard. The bread still uses a conventional dough, but Flash Freeze Butter Pocket technology delivers a flavor and texture that finally resemble the real thing. For shoppers ready to upgrade, this premium SKU resets expectations and proves that convenience doesn't have to mean compromise. Number 3. Whole Foods Market Garlic Bread stands out for its commitment to ingredient purity. The label keeps things refreshingly simple. No more than 6 ingredients, including organic garlic, unsalted butter, and a pinch of sea salt. There are no emulsifiers or artificial flavors hiding in the fine print, and the bread's crust caramelizes evenly thanks to real butter instead of palm or soybean oil. Shoppers who trust the Whole Foods brand get a shortcut to cleaner sourcing, with the added peace of mind that the spread is built on dairy, not oil. The bread itself is conventional in shape and texture, familiar, but with a noticeable boost in flavor and crispness. At around $5 per loaf, this option delivers a clear upgrade for anyone who values organic-minded choices and a short ingredient list, raising the bar for what frozen garlic bread can be. Number 2. Stonefire Garlic Naan Bread brings an unexpected bakery twist to the garlic bread lineup. Each piece starts with hand-rolled dough, creating uneven pockets that crisp and blister in the oven, a texture most frozen loaves can't touch. Instead of the usual thick slice, this flatbread leans into pillowy softness at the center, with edges that snap when baked hot. The garlic spread is built on real butter and fresh garlic, not oil blends or powdered flavors, giving every bite a richer, brighter aroma. Stonefire Flash freezes its naan at -30 degrees Celsius, locking in the airy crumb and keeping the butter from seeping out before you bake. At around $5.50 for a pack, it's a step up in both process and price, but the payoff is a bread that tastes freshly made, with a crisp rim and a soft, satisfying chew. For anyone craving a more gourmet bakery-style experience from their freezer, Stonefire's Naan is a standout everyday upgrade. And finally, in first place, local bakery-style frozen garlic bread delivers the full promise of real garlic bread from the freezer. Each loaf is hand-shaped, built on organic flour, and loaded with European cultured butter, making up 15% of the ingredient list, alongside 3% fresh, farm-grown garlic. There are no preservatives, no artificial flavors, just a deep golden crust that crackles when you slice in. The result is a rich, buttery aroma, a crisp exterior, and a pillowy crumb that rivals anything from a fresh bakery. At around $6, this is the ultimate freezer upgrade, proving that the best garlic bread combines real butter, fresh garlic, and artisan bread into a single, unforgettable bite. Across all 12 brands, one truth stands out. Real garlic bread is defined by honest ingredients, real butter, fresh garlic, and quality bread. Most shortcuts show up in every bite. That pattern reveals why ingredient labels matter more than marketing. Authentic taste is always built, never faked. Which brands earn your trust?